What is the deal? This is your boy Shaka, the Urban Philosopher, and I just wanted to share my thoughts with you all very quickly. 300. I was just sitting here watching a clip that was explaining the situation down at the border. Now, if you all do not know, there are hundreds of thousands of people down at the border. Okay, and in my opinion, they will get in, and I'll explain a little bit of that here in the video today. But yeah, they were just speaking on that, and specifically, they were speaking about how they expect that most of the Haitians that are at the border will be able to get in. Now, if you all do not know, this was not in the specific video, but if you all do not know, in 2017, there was a law that was banned it was a piece of legislation that was passed called the Temporary Protection Status Program, and it allowed certain refugees and things like that the opportunity to stay in the country for a little bit of time until things were figured out, whether they were going to be citizens or whatever, whether they're going back home or whatever. And so that was banned in 2017, but when this president got back in office, when he got in office anyway, he lifted that ban. And so because of that, we can expect that a lot of the refugees and things like that are at the border are going to have the opportunity to stay in this country. And so, that is very important to the so-called black community that matters. That's important for us to know. It's something that we should be preparing for. And it's something that we should be paying attention to as it unfolds. Because as I told several of my people in the streets, and I've also stated this on here a couple of times, is that in 2016, they decided that they were pretty much done with the so-called black population. You know what I'm saying? The culture in which it is today. It was primarily managed by the so-called Democratic Party, and that's a fact. But they decided that they were going to abandon that because it became too hard to keep the vote. You know what I'm saying? They got tired of the failed pandering attempts. You know what I'm saying? And then they got tired of the rise in so-called black people who were questioning, you know what I'm saying, the bullshit. And so I said this in 2016, that they had already made that decision that they were just going to go ahead and jump ship and, pretty much do this another way, which is bringing in other groups of people, okay, who are going to be more likely to vote for them based on what they give them, okay? And that's it. People who don't have a lot of this cultural history of being so-called oppressed and all of this other stuff, you know what I'm saying? And that's what they're doing today, and they are coining this human infrastructure. Okay, that's what they are coining this. And so, yeah, this is something that we got to pay attention to, because when these folks come up here, okay, the first places that they are going to occupy is our communities. And before a lot of so-called black folks jump up and down, because a lot of so-called black folks stay jeffing with these other groups of people, okay, based on history that they had that they don't even represent and can sometimes be questionable, they're going to make sure that when these so-called folks come up here, that, they are not going to get in community with so-called black people, no different than the African, okay? They're going to make sure of that, And when they come up here, they're going to get a hold of more of those resources and things like that these Democrats often allotted to a great part of our community due to a lot of their pandering efforts, okay, they're going to start allotting that to a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? And so this is why I say, number one, this is why I say micro communities are important, because a great majority of black folks, okay, the majority of our community is very dependent on a lot of this stuff. And it's not just in food stamps and stuff like that. It's going to be an opportunity too. You know what I'm saying? And so we're going to have to get in a position to where we're not dependent on those things. All right? And dependent on these groups of people, including a lot of the knuckleheads in our community. Okay? We're going to have to stop dealing with these people. Real talk. And start really circling our wagons and coming together. You know what I'm saying? Within first these micro communities, and see what we can do from there. Because this stuff is really happening. It is really going on. Okay? It is really going on. And they are going to let most of those people in this country. Okay? Because they got a plan. All right? And it does not include us. Okay? All right? I mean, that's unless you include the losing end of the deal. You dig? And so, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and leave it there. Just wanted to drop that. But, if you all ever get the time, kind of have a look at that. Look into that. And don't be deceived by how a lot of these people, including these Gandhi, Fooleon, tap dancing celebrities, you know what I'm saying, who are going to come out the woodwork and try to get you to celebrate these people coming in here, replacing you. Don't be deceived by this stuff, man. Alright? But yeah, go ahead and comment below. Like or dislike this information. But most definitely hit that sub button and that bell, because I'm going to drop something that you're going to like. Alright? Anyway, folks, this is your boy Shaka, the Urban Philosopher. I'm out.